Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson, gold sponsor of the 2018 Micro Games in Yap. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, the governor calls senators into special session to talk funding the island's only public hospital. Plus, exclude charter schools from the public school system's budget, the Education Board adopting a resolution to do just that. And an update on that baby boy abandoned at the front door of a home in Dedido, the story that tugged at the heartstrings of many. Half a day and good evening. Senators decide to push back debate on a bill by Adelup to control spending at the hospital when a new sales tax goes into effect in October. Governor Eddie Calvo calling lawmakers into special session, sending over a bill to prioritize some of the revenues from the tax to specifically address deficiencies at GMH. Both the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and a joint accrediting commission have found multiple problems at the hospital. GMH saying failure to fix the issues could result in CMS pulling their eligibility and the Joint Commission removing accreditation. The governor's bill assumes the 2% general sales tax will go into effect as scheduled, but there have been growing indications from lawmakers that they will repeal the tax, and all they did in special session was schedule the public hearing.
As Chairman of the Committee on Appropriations and Adjudication, I will announce at this point that Bill 1-9S will have a public hearing on July the 5th, 2018 at 6 p.m. That's July the 5th, 2018, 6 p.m. Hearing on Bill 1-9S.
Adelup was quick to rebuke the move, saying, quote, rather than address a simple amendment to prioritize funds to help GMH, senators delay the urgency for a public hearing until next month. Hospital officials have said a dedicated funding source such as the sales tax will cure chronic budget shortfalls and is part of their corrective action plan. But several senators are blaming management for the current problems and have cited leadership failures as reasons to repeal the tax. The Rules Committee, meanwhile, which was previously scheduled to meet, did so late Wednesday afternoon to set next week's session agenda. Topping that will be a bill that calls for the repeal of the general sales tax. The Guam Memorial Hospital is responding to its ongoing failure to pay past due retirement contributions. As reported, they now owe more than $1.8 million to the GovGuam Retirement Fund. Hospital administrators stating, quote, we have been going down this road for more than 40 years now. Now more than ever, lawmakers need to protect funding for Guam's only public hospital. GMH officials adding, quote, at the end of the day, delivering on the promise of retirement to those at GMH who worked all their lives under difficult conditions is now being weighed against the need to buy life-saving supplies, medicines, and hiring critical staff. Separate the budgets from the Department of Education and charter schools. That's the intent of a resolution passed by the Guam Education Board, who has called charter schools like Guahan Academy risky business. Carmen Chalahi has more.
Pending an opinion from the AG's office on the legality of the Charter School Council vote to renew Guahan Academy Charter School, GAC stakeholders and the Charter School Council met senators at a roundtable discussion. One of the issues, a resolution passed by the Guam Education Board that charter schools and DOE have separate budgets. The board citing a risk assessment requested by Superintendent John Fernandez and conducted by DOE's Internal Audit Office that cited Guahan Academy Charter Schools, quote, continued non-compliance to GovGuam procurement law, financial concerns over questionable expenditures, and recent eviction from Shintrust property. Chairman Mark Mendiola.
No one wants to see a school fail. I mean, that's very, and I think that we share that same sentiment. And that's the reason why we took that kind of strong position, is either you give it to us and let us manage it or assist completely, or then you separate us and then put a set of folks that can actually put things into place.
Some council members like Selba Balta agreed with DOE taking charge, saying the council lacks the resources and permanent staff to review public funds and keep charter schools accountable. Currently, GACs receive $6,500 per student. Senators respond.
But DOE is responsible under the Organic Act to provide funding to all schools. So I'm just kind of hesitant to, I would love to see it severed, where the council has separate funding, but it just doesn't work that way. When it comes out of the legislature, it's one pot.
You guys keep compounding the problem because you keep creating. I said, well, do something for the next school year. It had to be this year that you guys passed it.
Well,
I don't know where you're going to fund it because it's not coming out of the appropriation bill. It's coming out from my committee.
The Attorney General says she will issue an opinion by the end of this week. If she overturns the Council's decision of approving GACs, stakeholders hope to have a plan for parents and students to find a new school. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Well, that baby boy abandoned, found on the doorstep of a dead at a home Tuesday is safe and doing well. But that's about all the Child Protective Services can discuss about the case. Nestor Lecanto has an update on an emotional story that touched so many hearts.
CPS Supervisor Mayfei Moiko says the law prohibits her from disclosing many of the details.
The infant is in good hands. I am ensuring that I'm working with the social worker that all his medical needs are taken care of, all the tests that needs to be done, as we don't have any information. And at this time, we want to make sure the child is healthy and is currently safe.
The story about the newborn infant struck an emotional chord with so many of our viewers and social media followers. KUAM saw more than 100,000 hits and many people wishing they could adopt the baby. Grace Iwashita handles the foster care program for CPS. She hopes this will somehow encourage more people to volunteer.
We always are in need of foster parents, and if adoption is one alternative of taking care of children, but there are many more kids who need to be in temporary foster homes, and we always need foster homes. We currently have 38 licensed foster homes. We have over 200 children that we have custody of who, need placement.
Many also expressing concern that Guam doesn't have a safe haven program where a parent can safely hand over an unwanted baby. Speaker B.J. Cruz introduced a bill a few years ago, but it died in committee. Carol Sanchez of the Attorney General's office says she would support such a law, but there are current alternatives, like the Child Protective Act, which allows police, doctors, and CPS to exert protective custody over the minor.
For the ones that have done it the right way, that have approached CPS or have approached medical staff and said, I don't think I can take care of this kid. I want to give it up. That's a hard thing to do. So I have to applaud that, and you would hope that every parent would do it that way. And that's, I think, really the message that needs to be pushed across is that, if you don't want your child, don't leave it out there where they can get hurt.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Well, he's off the hook for the murder of a fellow detainee. Superior Court Judge Anita Socola dismissed with prejudice the murder, manslaughter, and aggravated assault charges against Albert Santos II. He, along with others, had been accused for the killing of detainee Edward Manson Usar at the Hagutnia Detention Facility last December. Defense attorney Jay Arreola confirming the dismissal, stating further investigation by the prosecution revealed that a conviction against Santos for the murder charges is unlikely. He adds witnesses provided information to the prosecution which clears Santos of any wrongdoing. Investigators say the murder was a revenge attack on Usar. Other defendants in the case are awaiting trial. Meantime, Arreola states, quote, "We are grateful to the Attorney General Prosecution Division for ensuring justice is served and for recognizing that sometimes people are indeed inappropriately charged and that such cases should be dismissed when the evidence supports dismissal." A former corrections officer accused in a major contraband case at the prison is set to go to trial. Jerry Hokog appeared in Superior Court today for a motions hearing. However, no motions have been filed on his behalf. Hokog had his case severed from the DEPCOR officers and others charged following last year's investigation at the prison. His trial is set to begin on September 10th. The group was arrested in August and September of 2017 after investigators uncovered an elaborate scheme to smuggle drugs and other contraband into the Manila facility. Police corruption and document forgery claims brought forward by Troy Torres and Johnny Rosario. These allegations stemming from an empty court record search for a search warrant that was executed on Rosario's residence back in March. However, Judiciary spokesperson Shango Matauto confirms that the warrant in question was filed late Tuesday afternoon with the clerk of court and has now been made public record. Court policy calls for warrants to be filed within 10 days after execution, but Gumatautau adds that they understand the large caseload taken in by GPD, and currently there are no penalties for returning warrants late. Furthermore, he confirms that only valid official documents can be returned to the court. KUAM reached out to GPD as to why the warrant was returned late, but have yet to receive a response. Well, stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming of KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
As administrator of the courts, I've seen firsthand how many criminal cases are filed each and every day. Crime is on the rise, and we do not feel safe, even in our own homes. A Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration will make public safety a top priority by hiring enough police officers for our roads and in our villages. We will expand community policing, and we will provide our officers with the equipment and resources to do their job safely. I'm in to protect our families, and I humbly ask you to vote for us.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
We're celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team, because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Welcome back. The deadline to file has passed and the election ballot is now filled. For the legislature in particular, there are a lot of new faces hoping for a chance to represent you. Nestor Lecanto has this preview of what the 35th legislature might look like.
The dance card, if you will, is full. A whopping 40 candidates are looking to fill one of the 15 seats in Imina 35 na Legislaturan Guahan. 21 Republicans and 19 Democrats. And what is striking is that many of the old guard are hoping to move on to higher office or just move on, period. There are only 7 incumbents running for re-election. 6 of them are coming off their freshman term. Therese Terlahi, Joe S. San Agustin, Talina Nelson, Regine Bisco-Lee, Luis Muña, and Will Castro. Only Senator Mary Torres has more than 1 term under her belt. There are 3 former lawmakers in the running again: Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Adolfo Palacios, and Tello Taidegui. Everyone else would be a first-timer in the legislature. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
And we'll have the first of our Decision 18 interviews with candidates tonight at 6:30. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Well, the Guam Election Commission has reconvened their meeting this evening to discuss any updates on previous agenda items and what will be happening next as the clock runs down toward the primary election. The board will also speak on the complaints made by former Senator Robert Klitsky and Troy Torres against the candidates. We'll bring you more from the GEC meeting tonight on KUAM.com. The Port of Guam raises more than $70 million in its first ever bond borrowing. KITA Administrator Jay Rojas says the investment grade ratings from S&P and Moody's are the highest combined rating for any government credit and were instrumental in securing very favorable rates. He says the port saved more than $20 million in interest payments based on initial projections. The closing of the bonds and the transfer of proceeds is scheduled for July 5th. Port General Manager Joanne Brown saying the money will be used for various capital improvement projects to enhance port resiliency and sustainability. The Judiciary of Guam has awarded a grant over $1.8 million from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. The federal monies will go towards the enhancement of the Judiciary's Guam Family Recovering Program over the next 5 years, specifically in the funding of residential treatment for parents, peer mentor support services, child care services, and incentives for parents who are successful within the program. Launched in November 2017, GFRP promotes the health and safety and welfare of children from abuse and neglect arising from parental substance abuse and strengthens families through evidence-based family-centered services, intensive care management, and increased judicial intervention. The Judiciary of Guam has one of 20 jurisdictions nationwide to receive funding through the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services branch for use in support of family drug court programs. It may be routine, but it's causing some concern. The U.S. Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Mobile Unit kicked off its underwater detonation training, but notice of the training is causing some pushback from local activists. Salome Vuki has details.
Exploding with controversy, the U.S. Navy planned an underwater training exercise starting today involving explosives detonating in Outer Apra Harbor. The underwater blast will detonate 5 pounds of explosives. The training inciting environmental concerns from Protehi Latexan, a direct action group dedicated to the protection of natural and cultural resources. Pleading with senators in a letter, Protehi Latexan mentioned the negative impacts on sea life and fishermen, asking to, quote, halt the detonations. Protehi Latexan also attached pictures to the letter showcasing dolphins swimming just outside of the harbor. Joint Region Marianas and the Navy today responded, citing protective measures that will cease training if people or marine life are seen in the area. The military also saying they are committed to environmental and cultural stewardship. Additionally, the training will take place in a sandy part of the seafloor, minimizing environmental risks. The underwater training marks the 4th time this year the Navy has completed this exercise, all granted by the National Marine Fisheries Service. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Salome Vuki.
Reminding us not to forget our past and giving us a few glimpses into our future. Survivors of World War II coming together at the Guam Congress Building as we prepare to honor them at the 74th Menengan Memorial Commemoration. County Mendiola has the story.
True testaments of the strength and resilience of our island people. Survivors of World War II, along with board members of the Menengan Memorial Foundation, gathered at the Guam Congress Building today to speak about this year's commemoration. It was 74 years ago the people of Guam were forced to march to the Menengan concentration camp in Zotnya during the Japanese occupation. Infants to elderly, none were discriminated in taking the long trip, mostly on foot with little to no supplies. Many were murdered, beaten, families became separated, and children became orphans. Now we continue to honor those who survived these tragedies and remember all those who were lost. Menengan Memorial Foundation Chair Senator Regine Biscoe-Lee.
Without them, we would not be here. This building would not be here. And so we really, truly celebrate them. We honor them. And we thank them for their courage, for their faith, and for their resilience, which has really brought us all here today.
1, 2, 3. A special unveiling at Wednesday's press briefing showed plans for the construction of monuments throughout the island, including the Menengan Memorial Site. With the advice of the survivors, key elements were implemented into the memorial models. MMF President Willie Flores.
We were able to incorporate the elements, again, that the Manamco wanted, which was the Ladi stone to symbolize the strength of the Chamorro people, the water to symbolize life, the sling stone to symbolize our heritage, and of course, the fallen Ladi stone to represent our fallen people.
The foundation hopes to complete the memorial's construction prior to their 75th anniversary in 2019. And for Tan Rosa Duenas of Inarajan, who was 14 at the time of the war, these monuments are long overdue.
It's been a long time, yes, and now it's happening. This is well prepared for everything for the benefit of the people of Guam.
This year's Manengan commemoration will take place on Sunday, July 8th. For a complete listing of the day's events, visit the Manengan Memorial Foundation Facebook. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Kiani Mendiola.
Sports is next, but first a look at your island weather.
Make every day a plus.
Introducing the Alpha Plus app. With the rewards feature, you can earn points and get free rewards. Filing insurance claims gets no easier, as you can receive feedback within 24 hours. Easily check your insurance balance and insurance policy with the My Policy feature. So download the all-new Alpha Plus app on Google Play or the App Store. Alpha Plus, make every day a plus.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get you started with some player profiles from the Team Guam All-Stars Majors Division. Check it out.
Hafide Guam, my name is Noah Mendiola. I'm 12 years old from the village of Mi'ilao. I play first base and center field for Team Guam, and my favorite player is Ichiro Suzuki.
Hafide Guam, my name is Ricardo Leon Guerrero II. I'm 12 years old. I'm from the village of Chalampago. I play second base and right field for Team Guam, and my favorite player is Carlos Correa.
Hafide Guam, my name is Aiden Nugget. I'm 11 years old from the village of Barragata. I play catcher and second base for Team Guam, and my favorite baseball player is Manny Machado.
Hafide Guam, my name is Jaden Duenas. I'm 11 years old. I'm from the village of Malilao. I play second base and outfield for Team Guam, and my favorite player is Manny Machado.
Hafide Guam, my name is Jace Kamtata. I'm 12 years old. I'm from the village of Manila. I play catcher for Team Guam, and my favorite player is Mike Trout.
The Guam National Guard 2K, 5K run, walk, stroll takes place Saturday, July 7th at GPO. The run celebrates 37 years of service and sacrifice. The course will start and finish at the Guam Premier Outlets in Tamuning. Showtime is at 5 in the morning with go time scheduled for 6. You can register at Cars Plus, Goody Sporting Goods, and Mark's merchandise. Bibs can also be purchased from Guam Air or Army National Guard units. There will be lots of refreshments and raffle prizes. Dry fit shirts to the first 2,400 finishers. All proceeds to benefit the Guam National Guard's family readiness groups. For more info, call 735-0487, 788-0853, or 735-0409. Tennis Academy of Guam is hosting a team doubles tournament July 13th through the 15th at the Sheraton Laguna Resort, Guam. The fee is $35 per person. All players must register by July 6th. The divisions will be men's and women's, under 12 co-ed, under 10 co-ed. For more info, check out tennisacademyguam.com. The event is open to all tennis players of different skill levels. The University of Guam co-ed soccer camps will increase prices on July 2nd as the early registration will be over and regular camp prices take over. Current prices are $175 per camp with a team special of $150 per camper for 5 or more campers from the same team or group of friends. Prices go up to $199 for the camps. The camp is taught by UOG head soccer coach Rod Hidalgo. Contact Sarita Regis at 735-2861 for more information or to register for the camp. In bowling news, second seed Patricia Roberto upset top seed and fellow teammate Jim Pinalla in the Classic 2 out of 3 wins to take the June senior bowling title. Roberto beat Pinalla 215 to 185 in the first game. Pinalla bounced back in the second game and took the win 216 to 174. Roberto would eventually take the win and title in the third game, 194 to 162. The victory also qualified Roberto on the list for the December Grand Finals. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
It's a celebration at Cars Plus in Mighty. And during our Jeep Celebration event, you'll save thousands on every new Jeep in stock, like a new 2018 Compass. Save up to $3,750. Or save up to $4,000 on a new 2018 Cherokee. How about a new Renegade? Save up to $6,000. Plus, buy today and receive